Alright, y'all, so now we're going to move on to Module 6, which is building negotiation and refusal skills. So in this module, we're going to continue to focus on the HIV prevention skills of negotiating condom use or abstaining from having sex. So what to say if my partner says blank? So in this module, we're going to see if we can change each excuse for not wanting to use a condom into a good reason to use a condom. In other words, what would you say to a potential sexual partner who says the following? I don't like the way condoms feel. Well, you could always say, I can show you how to make them feel better. You could use different textures or extra lubrication. If someone says condoms don't feel as good as the real thing, they aren't natural, you could always say today's thin latex condoms feel really natural. Adding a drop of lubricant inside the tip of the condom might give it extra feeling as well. The next one is condoms are messy and smell funny. Think about what you would say to someone if they said this to you. You could always say, but the condom will be safer. Condoms aren't any messier or smellier than sex itself. So here's some breaking the mood excuses if someone were to say condoms kill the mood for sex. Your response could be, only if you let them. With a little imagination, condoms can make it better. Or, let me show you that it doesn't have to kill the mood. Sexual enjoyment excuses. Sex isn't as good. I can't feel as much with a condom on. You could always let them know that there are ultra thin condoms and that you would feel unsafe without a condom. If you don't feel safe, then you wouldn't be able to enjoy your sex anyways. Contraception excuses. Why do we need to use the condom if you're using the pill? It's always important here that you remind your partner that the pills or any form of hormonal birth control do not prevent against the transmission of HIV or other STDs. One of the harder ones is the relationship trust excuses. If your partner was to say people who use condoms don't trust each other, you could say it's not a matter of trust, it's a matter of caring for yourself and the person you're with. In fact, both partners share responsibility for having and using condoms, whether they trust each other or not. So if this is just a brand new partner or it's an ongoing partner, always make sure that you're having the discussion of using condoms. Another one could be, I love you, why would I give you an infection? The response here could be not intentionally, but a lot of people don't know that they are infected with an STD, as a lot of the times they are asymptomatic, meaning that they show no signs. Alright. So now we are on to the diseases and health excuse. If someone were to say, condoms are for people with diseases, do I look sick to you? Your response could be, unfortunately, you can't tell if people have an STD by looking. A person can look and feel healthy, but still may be infected. Or, I know I'm disease-free. I've not had sex with anyone in months. Your response could be, as far as I know, I'm free of disease too, but either of us could have an infection from a previous relationship and not know it. And that's why it's so important to get tested. Someone says, let's do it just once without a condom. Once is all it takes to get an STD or get pregnant. It's important to clarify that, letting them know that it really does only take once. If they say, I don't have a condom with me, you could satisfy each other without having intercourse. You could wait and have sex until the time you do have a condom, or you can go to the store or contact OCO and get condoms together. Alright, so those were some great responses. We'll be using this information later when we practice role-playing. Remember, regardless of what excuse your partner gives, you need to be prepared to give a response that helps make the proud choice of using a new latex or polyurethane polyisoprene condom and or dental dam every time you have sex. Okay, now we're going to move on to activity C, which is using the SWAT technique. Knowing what is best for you and your health and doing something about it can be two different things. Even though condom use can prevent the transmission of STDs, including HIV infection, raising the subject can be difficult. It is very important that you talk with your partner about condoms and safer sex. An open and honest discussion can both protect you and correct some common misunderstandings. In the previous activity, you responded to possible excuses for not using condoms by stating the first responses and reactions that came to your mind. In this activity, we're going to practice our skills in negotiating safer sex with friends and partners. You will be performing role plays that will give you an opportunity to practice handling a variety of situations. During the role plays, we'll be using a skill called the SWAT technique. It is a 4-step strategy for negotiating safer sex with a partner without blaming, arguing, or getting into a fight. And now we're going to talk about the different steps of the SWAT technique. So S equals say no, so refuse the unsafe behavior. W is explain why. Offer a good explanation as to why you want to be safe. Explaining why helps your partner hear and understand your real concerns and prevents negative reactions. A is provide alternatives. Provide safe alternatives to show that you still want to be intimate and have a relationship with this person as long as it can be safe. And T is talk it out. Talk openly about each other's feelings to help the relationship grow and ease any tension that may have developed. It's also important to note here that you don't necessarily have to go through all 4 of these steps. Saying no should be enough. If for any reason it is not and you feel like you want to continue on to the rest of the steps, that's something you can absolutely do. But just a reminder that if you're saying no, your partner needs to respect that. Alright, so how to say no effectively. You can use and repeat the word no often. Project a strong, business-like tone of voice. You could also send a strong nonverbal no with your body language. Look directly at the person's face and eyes, stand straight and tall. Use a serious facial expression and try not to send mixed signals. Okay. So some examples could be, no, I'm not ready to have sex yet. No, I won't have sex without a condom. Or no, stop trying to unbutton my pants. You always want to remember to be very firm. Okay. Next is explain why. Give clear reasons to support your choice. And this is, like I said before, only if you want to. Saying no is enough. So giving clear reasons to support your choice is the W part of the SWAT technique. In this step, you explain your reason for saying no. You ask yourself, why do I want to be safe? And then base your answer on that. This shows you some reasons that you could provide. So I want to protect myself with a condom every time I have sex. I won't risk my goals by having unprotected sex. Condoms help prevent unplanned pregnancy and STDs. Or I'm simply not ready to be a parent yet. Providing safe alternatives and other strategies shows that you still want to be intimate and have a relationship with this person. This gives you some examples of our alternative actions you might provide instead of having sex. So another action could be, let's go buy some condoms right now. Let's get out of the bedroom. It makes me feel uncomfortable. If you're willing to use a condom, then we can have sex. Let's do something else that will feel good for us, or let's go get something to eat. Doesn't necessarily have to be sexual in nature. So talking openly with each other's feelings helps a relationship grow and eases any tensions that may have developed. Communicate your feelings and be direct and honest. Alright, so you could say, I feel like you don't really care about me when you pressure me like this, or I'm not ready to have a baby. I would feel better if we used a condom. I'm glad you agreed to use condoms. I feel like you really care about me. You really turn me on when you touch me, but I won't have sexual intercourse without a condom. Or if you can't respect my feelings, then I am prepared to end this relationship. And that's totally an okay thing to say. So now we're going to watch a short video about a few different couples who are in a negotiation about using condoms. In this role play, please just make sure that you're following along and see how many of the different SWAT techniques that you can point out. Once you're done, come back to this video and we'll go over the answers. Listening, that means that you did watch the How to Talk About Safer Sex video, and now we're just going to discuss some things. So just think to yourself, did the young woman use the SWAT technique? Did she say no? Did she offer an explanation? Did she provide alternatives? And did they talk it out? She did say that she was not going to be continuing if they did not use a condom, and she explained why. She did not want to take the chance of pregnancy or STDs at all. She offered to put the condom on and explain the way that she was feeling about this. Now, what were his concerns about using a condom? He was nervous that it didn't feel as natural or that the condom would get dry. To respond to this, she brought out lube and said that they weren't going to have any issues with that. And was she ready to walk away from the relationship if necessary? Do you think you could do that? It's definitely a hard decision to make. And now we're going to move on to the next activity. So we're going to do a little bit of a role play here. I want you to try this similar to the one that we saw in the video clip. Try to incorporate everything that we have talked about in this course and use it in your role play, especially the strategies for using condoms and making them fun and pleasurable. Be creative, knowledgeable, and supportive in your approach and avoid blaming. Incorporate some important things such as how you want to respect and protect yourself and your partner, that you have plans and goals for your future, and that you want to make proud and responsible decisions. So role-playing is a technique that can help you learn what it feels like to be someone else or to practice how to handle a situation that is new, difficult, or stressful. You should do your best to feel, sound, and behave like the person whose role you are assigned to play. It's a lot like acting, but the situations are more realistic and you are trying to behave in the way that will help you and everyone else learn. It's important to try to follow some guidelines when you do role plays. So read your role carefully and think about how the person would really behave. Do your best to stay in character. Don't let anything distract you. And try to feel and act like the person you're playing. Remember to use the SWAT techniques. So say no, repeat it, use strong body language, explain why you don't want to engage in unsafe behavior, provide alternatives, and talk it out. So there are different role plays that you can choose from where they outline the different situations that are going on. So just go through and read those and write down your best responses to the individual. When you're done, come back to this video and we will discuss. So we're just going to go over the first role play, which is role play A. The theme is loss of trust and sexual pleasure through condom use. So Jamie is going to be the one using SWAT, and this is the situation. You and your sexual partner, Taylor, are in your partner's living room with the lights down low and things are starting to get physical. You are trying to tell Taylor that you want to use protection, and Taylor's beginning to get angry. Taylor doesn't think sex will feel as good and did not want to use any sort of protection, but you want to use protection because you respect yourself. Your health is more important to you and you want to protect yourself because you are worth it. From Taylor's point of view, you and your partner Jamie are at your place and things are getting intimate. Jamie's starting to talk about using protection and you're getting angry. Does Jamie think you've been sleeping around? You don't think using protection feels good and truly believe that it will ruin the mood. So our task is to convince Taylor that sex can be just as pleasurable with condoms or other protection. Make it known to Taylor that you do not want to have any sort of sexual relations if protection is not involved. Explain that you don't want to risk any chance of pregnancy or STDs. If that's still not working, offer maybe to go to the movies or go play a video game. Just provide alternatives to do. And then explain once again why you're feeling the way you are and let them know that At this point, you're just trying to protect yourself and your health. It's important to always remember that condoms don't have to ruin sex. There are different techniques that can make a condom pleasurable and fun. It's important to talk about condom use ahead of time before any touching or kissing begins. People have expectations in certain situations, and it's important to voice those. Now we're going to move on to one of our final activities, which is talking with partners about condom use or abstinence. So there is no doubt that using condoms is a good idea because they make sex safer. Condoms help to protect both partners from unplanned pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases, including HIV infection. To obtain these benefits, you must choose good quality latex or polyurethane polyisoprene condoms and use them correctly and consistency. In some cases, you may have to overcome a partner's reluctance to use them. However, if you choose to have vaginal, anal, or oral sex, using condoms is the first and most important step to protecting yourself. Knowing what is best for your health and doing something about it can be two different things. Even bringing up the subject can be hard. However, it's very important that you talk with a potential partner about condoms and safer sex. An open, honest discussion can correct any misunderstandings. So now I want you to think about what you want to say ahead of time. Sort out your own feelings about using condoms before you talk with a partner. Choose the time to talk before that first intimate moment. Getting things straight before you make love means that you will both be prepared and relaxed. And decide how you want to start the conversation. You could use, I've been hearing a lot lately about safer sex. Have you ever tried condoms? Discuss condom use before you have a sexual relationship. Discuss it before engaging in general stimulation or touching. And remember to talk about how condoms are fun and pleasurable. Once you both agree to use condoms, do something fun. Go to the store together, pick some out, buy different types and colors. Always make sure that they are latex, polyurethane, or polyisoprene. And plan a special day when you can experiment. If you are unable to come to agreement, you can always abstain from sex. To avoid becoming infected with HIV, a person should abstain from sex, use a latex condom for every act of vaginal, anal, or oral sex, talk to a partner about HIV and AIDS, talk to your partner about condoms before having sex, and ask sexual partners about their sexual and drug use history. Always ask them, have they been tested, and share your status with your partner. In conclusion, be proud and be responsible. You can protect yourself and your partner by keeping a supply of condoms on hand, getting used to them so that they are natural and fun, and not using alcohol or other drugs to get in the mood for sex. We've covered a lot of information in this program. We started by acknowledging that HIV has had a negative impact on many people, including young people. We've discussed ways to prevent HIV from affecting us, our partners, our families, and our communities. If we choose to be proud and be responsible, we won't use alcohol or mind-altering drugs. We will avoid behaviors that can pass HIV, such as sharing needles, and we will abstain from sexual intercourse or use condoms every time we have sex.